Hey everyone, how you doing?
Hey guys, how you going?
Excellent. Welcome to the SHAZAM review.
Yes.
We've obviously just walked out of the cinema.
Fresh out of the cinema.
We've come back to the studio after seeing DC's new, DECU film, SHAZAM. And, well, a bit of a surprise, I've got to say, Rick, straight off the bat. By the way, guys, before we go any further,
spoiler.
This is a spoiler review. To talk about this film properly, we have to dig in deep, and sometimes do spoilers. So if you haven't seen SHAZAM yet, do the right thing. Pause this video, go and see SHAZAM, and then come back to this video and obviously hear what we're just about to say. All right, Rick, we've walked out. Initial reaction straight off the bat. How do you feel about walking out of SHAZAM?
Look, first off, I don't know much about SHAZAM, so I'm like, yep, walked in fresh, walked out, okay. Saw what I saw on the trailers, just got in, walked out, and I went, you know what? It was an enjoyable movie. I enjoyed it.
I think
what it was.
I think the movie is fun.
Yeah.
I think it really does bring a bit of fun back into it. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Initial reaction was, I had a good time.
I did.
I had a good time. And that, you know, that's a real big compliment, I think, isn't it? That we both had a good time.
Yeah, look, there was probably some scenes where I was a little bit slow, but majority of that movie flowed alright for me.
Flowed alright for you? Yeah. Absolutely. Well, let's start breaking down the film a little bit, Rick. One of the first things I noticed throughout the film was there's something missing in the beginning. What was missing from the beginning of the film?
The DC intro.
The DC intro.
Yeah.
Very
they just
fascinating.
did one bang, DC, that was it.
Yeah.
Not the whole
usual
like how Marvel
fanfare.
Nothing.
That was gone, which I found very interesting for a film that does clearly state that is inside that universe.
And it shows in the movie as well.
Absolutely. There are clear things. Well,
yeah.
Well, and it's fair to say, within that movie, they are Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman, all those characters exist within that universe. So it is connected. So I did find it very interesting that they removed that intro, which was kind of
that, but
this is the little nerdy thing that kind of bothered me. But the film, you're right, it takes a while to get going. I think.
Does. I think that first issue.
There's a lot of exposition. There's a lot of exposition, and not just for the hero, but for the villain as well, which I thought was a nice touch.
Mark Strong, which is really good.
We can get into him, but he's absolutely phenomenal in this film.
Yeah.
But we get to see a bit of the backstory of the villain here.
Yeah.
We actually see the origin of the villain as well, which was a nice touch, I thought. But you're right. I didn't time it, Rick, but I reckon you're getting a good 40, 45 minutes before this film really starting to kick into gear before he actually gets chosen. To be SHAZAM.
Yeah, when he got chosen, that's when it started to
That's when the film really kicks into gear.
Yeah.
And so it has a slow first act for me, but the second and third act are really, really good, I thought. Really solid. So it is a slow start, that was my opinion. But what we did get introduced to, Rick, was some, I thought, really great characters, especially the kids.
The kids, the family, yeah. And that whole struggle of him, you know, trying to find his mum, and he's that, you know, orphan kid.
That gets really dark at some point.
At some point when he actually did find his mum,
yeah, that was very dark.
Shut him down.
But yeah, one of the kids from It was playing the disabled, his friend, Freddie.
Good chemistry between the two there.
Really great.
Which is good. You could see that.
Really great.
That was cool.
I mean, between the young Billy Batson and that kid, there was good chemistry. But the chemistry of the film really is between Freddie and SHAZAM, Zachary Levi, who, unbelievable in this film, is absolute perfect casting. And I'm a bit of a Zachary Levi fan from back in the day. I used to watch his TV show called Chuck. And I always thought he had something about him, and he really shines in this film.
He does. That comedic side of him does come out in this movie, which is really, really good to see. So.
And that's what makes this movie work so well in the end. And I think this movie could have...
Do you think it was too much? Like some scenes that he was putting it on too much?
No.
That comic side, or that that character?
What I found so relatable in this film was the honesty about what would happen if you would get these powers.
So you're a 14-year-old kid or 15-year-old kid.
Yeah,
and
you're a bit over the top.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden you've been given everything you had ever wanted.
Yeah.
I think that, look, it is a bit of, but the movie is designed to have him go over the top at points, you know? And the movie is really influenced by And again, a very strong influence from the 80s, I believe, this film. It's got a really strong John Hughes teenage vibe going throughout it. You know, it reminds me A Night on the Town or Adventures of Babysitting if you're from America. I thought it had a really big feel of that. And it had a tone that we don't see a lot in films anymore. And that tone it is joyful. But it is also counterbalanced, like we said, some really dark moments. And the dark moments are about isolation and rejection. And this story obviously is about family and realise that your family is not necessarily your biological parents. Your blood family. It's the people who care about you and surround you. But there's some of the bigger themes in the film. But Rick, really, when this film starts to kick into gear in the second act, it really kicks into gear. Yeah,
and that's when you start going, oh, it's Shazam. He's hit the screen.
It's fun.
Now it's picking up.
It's fun, and it's you know, it's an interesting film in the sense that once he's got his powers, and very quickly, you know, when they start
exploring and trying to figure out what his powers are, great scene,
great montage, absolutely, and even in that point, when they do bring the villain and Shazam do meet for the first time, really good. I thought it was really, really good. I like the fact that it isn't just a fist fight. He's actually running away from the villain. Because he don't know how to fight. He's a 15-year-old kid.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
He doesn't really know what he's doing. And he's getting cocky. He's getting like... Because all he's doing is charging.
It's the Rocky montage.
Yeah, doing the Rocky montage. Yeah, which is very, very, very funny. Cool. And the reason for the Rocky montage is it's set in Philadelphia.
On the steps.
So, which is kind of wonderful. But yeah, what I was trying to get at too with when it starts to kick into gear is that dynamic we spoke about before between Zachary Levi and Freddie the character. It's the glue that holds this film together, and it's their relationship and the way that played out provides a lot of the melodrama in the film. A lot of the, you know, and there was a big surprise. I mean, the big surprise out of this film, Rick, for me, is the fact that we've got a phone ringing. That's all right, we've got to put it on pause. Is the fact that we've got the entire Shazam family comes into it.
Oh, that was a surprise.
That was a surprise, and kind of really cool. And we got to see, you know, some nice cameos and some other actors in there. But that worked really well in the third act as well. It's a film that, if you were to compare it, you can't compare it to any of the Marvel films, I don't think. I think it'd be unfair because it is a smaller film, isn't it?
It is. I mean, for me, like we were talking about Mark Strong being the villain and all that, I like that whole concept of the 7 deadly sins and then with inside of him and when they come out. But I wanted to see a little bit more of what they could do.
Yeah, I mean...
just kind of or they come out and they're just big ghoulish looking things.
Yeah, I mean, if you had the time with the film for them to go out and apply those monsters to the real world, like...
I just wanted to...
You know, those who are gluttonous, that monster goes over.
That's what I wanted to
and that was great, because here's the synergy, Rick. You have monsters, and every monster is... it represents a sin. And then when the Shazam family come in, every other Shazam member, except for the main Shazam, every other hero has one of the attributes that make up Shazam. So one of them has the lightning ability, another one has the ability to fly. So I love that. So I think that's what was... We kind of got it in the end, but I think it should have almost been like a Civil War moment. And these guys collide and there's a big battle. We kind of get it, but we kind of don't as well. It's a real refreshing film, I think, for the current marketplace that we have, in the sense that we have these wonderful Marvel films and DC films that have been hit and miss, to say the best. And I'm in the minority here. The more I've gone away from Aquaman, I'm like, there's a real
it's always going to be hard. It's always going to be hard when you get a DC movie come into it, because people are always going to feel like that way, because DC haven't really hit it on the head.
No.
You know, Wonder Woman.
And they've gone out of the way to separate this film.
They have,
From the marketing perspective, at least.
So it's always going to be hard, and you're always going to find that, am I really? But enjoyable movie. It's a great movie. It surprises me that it's rated. I understand why it's rated M, because there are dark themes in the film. Yeah, I mean, there is literally a mother who rejects her son. Yeah, she just said.
And it's a dark scene. And I can see why that is, but it's really a kid's film. It's a film made for the adolescent range. You know, if you had an 8-year-old son, he would probably be all over this.
Yeah. You don't need to know the storyline.
And so it is disappointing it's rated M, because I think there'll be a few kids out there that won't get to see this film, and I think out of all
that bad.
Out of all the DC films, this is the one you should be taking your kid to go and see.
Yeah, but I don't know why that was M. It wasn't that.
It wasn't that bad. It was just adult themes and all
kind of.
Yeah, you know. Either way, look, it is a terrific film. No. It's a film that you can walk out feeling you've had a good time.
Yeah.
It's interesting to go into a superhero film where you don't need to have a predisposition of 20 films knowledge to be able to enjoy the film. And even though it's connected to the Batman and Superman films, it is no way reliant that you would have seen those other films to enjoy this film whatsoever. So that's a big plus currently. Because that's probably the one negative about Marvel, Rick, that you have to be honest about.
You have to see
is that, like, I can't go and grab somebody that I work with who's never seen a movie and take them to Avengers Endgame.
Thanks for
none of it's going to make sense. They need to have prior knowledge, and this is a great film when you don't need prior knowledge. So the pluses are for me, Rick, a lot of fun and adventure. Zachary Levi kicks butt. I love the family dynamic.
I love
actors did really well,
and and like you said, they do incorporate that DC involved, and I do love that scene, the last scene in the lunchroom
where he actually brings Superman.
He brings Superman in. Loved that. It's
Notice
great.
we only see
you don't see his head.
You don't see Henry Cavill. You see from the neck down,
which is pretty cool.
But they're all the pluses for me. Which then really, ideally, if I think about what score to give this, Rick, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 because I think it's a really enjoyable film.
Wow, I didn't think you were going to go that high.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is. I think
okay.
I think it deserves it, actually. I really do, because it's really about the feeling that you get when you walk out of the film, Rick. And I had a good feeling walking out of there. By the way, before we go ahead and grab your score, I've gone 8 out of 10. We should talk about the after-credit scenes. There are 2 after-credit scenes.
Yes, there are 2.
The middle one is really perplexing because I'm not a Shazam comic reader. I never was. I just remember the Shazam ISIS Hour from the 70s TV show. But there's a scene with the villain. He's in prison. He's writing out all those glyphs. And then all of a sudden, a talking fucking caterpillar.
Is that what it was? I don't know what it was.
A talking fucking caterpillar.
It reminded me of that one from bloody SpongeBob.
Yeah. I did... Absolutely lost me. Please, in the comments, guys.
Someone will know what it's about.
Can you please explain that to us? Because that just went way over my head.
I had no fucking idea.
Way over my head. And then the second after-credit scene is really just a joke about Aquaman. Yeah. It's Shazam holding a fish bowl, trying to talk to the fish. And yeah, that's basically what it is. But yeah, overall, 8 out of 10, mate. I ain't changing my mind on that one.
10.
What about you, Rick?
Yeah, look. Like I said, going in there is a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I had some laughs. There were some great scenes that made me feel good, and there were some scenes that I'm like, oh wow, that's a bit dark and whatever. But I enjoyed it. I walked out of that cinema, and that's what it was all about. I paid my money to go see this movie, and I wasn't disappointed in any way. I felt good. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
It's pretty close to my score.
Yeah, 7.5. Only because, I did find there was a few scenes, and probably the first act, it was a little bit slow for me, but then it kind of picked up. But apart from that, 7.5. I enjoyed it.
This movie has a runtime of 132 minutes, which is 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can feel it in the first 20 minutes.
You do. Oh, man.
It's like, come on, get to it, get to it. But... Rick, I would say that slowness in the beginning did provide the decent payoff.
Yeah.
Like, we were a bit more invested in the villain than maybe we would be in some other films that they've... I was far more invested in this villain than I was, Steppenwolf.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Which was
terrible
a horrible villain.
Terrible CGI.
Look, guys, go and see Shazam. We are in a wonderful time at the moment. We've got Captain Marvel out at cinema at the moment, and that's gone over $1 billion in the box office.
$1 billion already?
That's a great film. Now we've got Shazam out in cinemas. Hellboy's next week.
Yeah.
And Avengers Endgame in 3 weeks. It's a wonderful time to be a comic book fan. Enjoy it, guys, because it's absolutely wonderful. Well, Rick, I am I'm sure people have seen this, are going to have lots of comments to talk about.
Yeah.
And certainly I would love to hear what they've got to say, because I'd like to engage with them and talk about this film, because the reports are good. It should make a lot of money.
I think it will.
But again, I think this might be a film currently that's being a bit overhyped. Just a smidge. Because the reviews I'm getting that I was hearing about...
Reviews were good.
Are like, whoa,
yeah,
over the top, this is amazing. Yeah. It's a good film. It's an enjoyable film. But don't think you're going to go and see Infinity War, Thor Ragnarok. It's not quite that.
But I want to hear from like the diehard Shazam fans.
Look, this is where the diehard fans can educate us on that fucking caterpillar for a start.
What that was.
And basically the lore, because I really enjoyed, I've got to say, I really enjoyed the family dynamic of them all coming Shazams as well.
I guess.
I did. The Shazam, I don't even know what their names are. But either way, very, very cool. So Rick, they've got to engage with us. They've got to educate us. How do they do that?
Educate us. Guys, give us a comment down below for that video. Also hit the like button as well. Also hit that notification bell every time we know. If you subscribe to our channel, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button for us as well. And just follow us all on our social media sites. Easy and simple as that, guys.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.